you join me as I'm descending towards BMW's all-new Mini Countryman. But this isn't any old Countryman. It's not the boring diesel or anything like that. It actually makes over 200 horsepower, and it should be quite economical, according to the manufacturer. Hints at what powers it lie here, 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 and the clincher here. Yep, as you may have noticed, this is a plug-in hybrid car. It's actually the first hybrid of any kind to bear a Mini badge, and while it shares some bits and the platform with other BMW Group models, it is genuinely the first electrified Mini in history. It is a tad bigger than before, but the designers have done a great job to hide its extra bulk. You don't really notice that it's a big car, although once you do step inside, you will see that well, there's a lot of space. 5 people can easily find room, although 4 people is what's recommended for a longer journey. As you may have noticed, in spite of being a hybrid, this Mini is badged an S model, which means it's also geared towards performance. It packs just over 200 horsepower, or 224 to be exact, of which 136 comes from the engine, a 3-cylinder 1.5 liter unit, and an additional 88 horsepower it's electric. It comes with a side-mounted charging port, and according to the manufacturer, a typical wall socket will charge it in around 3 hours, or just over 3 hours. In terms of powertrain, the petrol engine drives the front wheels and the electric motor drives the rear wheels, and Mini brands this an ALL4 model. This model is all new. It's an all new Countryman, so nothing was lifted from the old model. It has new headlights, a new grille, new rims, a fairly unchanged yet slightly different side profile, as well as new and quite bulbous rear lights. As you can see, they really stick out. I'm not one to cast opinions on design, but this isn't a bad looking thing. It does have some weird angles, but this rear 3/4 view, for instance, really makes it look quite pleasant actually. Under the bonnet, there's not really much you can see. There's a lot of plastic, Mini E logo on the top cover, and frankly, nothing else. Although the coolest thing under the bonnet here is this heatsink for the headlights. It's really cool. And of course, with the bonnet up, you're left with the holes that the headlights are supposed to go through. Yeah, let's get all artsy. Now, while the exterior is fine and dandy on this car, it's actually the interior that impressed me most of all. It's partly down to the quality, the design, and also the nice touches that make you feel special. Hopping aboard, it's all familiar Mini, nothing really new. Focus, goddammit. There you go. The big central binnacle, although it's just a styling element now. New door cards. The usual assortment of toggle switches in place of where other manufacturers would just use an ordinary switch, really. And the obligatory SOS button. Mini says that passengers riding in this car won't really notice it's a hybrid. It has just as much space as any other Countryman inside, and there aren't any particularly noticeable features or differences. The automaker has gone to some length to differentiate it though, for those who do know what they're looking at. For instance, this yellow tinted start-stop toggle switch is, well, it's unique to this Mini. There's also an E-drive button here, which is conveniently placed next to it. And yes, I did hit one in place of the other a few times before I got used to it. If you're not familiar with new Mini interiors, then you probably haven't seen this circular strip of LEDs surrounding the central infotainment screen. It is used for a number of functions, one of which is the climate-controlled temperature. It shows you where you are in its range, whether it's all cold or fully hot, all the way to the right. Now it's bang on in the middle, but I kind of want it to be cold for now because it's quite a hot day. Other differences that make this plug-in hybrid unique are the absence of a Rev Counter, which has been replaced with this power boost charge gauge thing. And really, that's pretty much it. Aside from these small features, this is identical to any Countryman. You can only get the plug-in hybrid Countryman as a high trim level model, so you're going to be treated to luxuries like a premium sound system from Harman Kardon, really rather lovely leather seat with Alcantara inserts, and a head-up display unit. The drive mode selector is interestingly placed in a ring around the gear selector. You move it left for sport, or right if you want a greener drive. The infotainment system now features a touchscreen, but you can also operate it with conventional buttons here. You have quite a nice selection of shortcuts, as you do in any BMW. When you climb aboard this new Mini Countryman, you will be immediately struck by the high quality finish on all surfaces. It's really rather pleasant. Everywhere you touch is soft. The mood lighting in this car is really rather interestingly set up. This piece of plastic trim you see on the dashboard here may just look like a piece of plastic with some texture on it, but actually it is backlit, and at night it is really amazing to look at. I'll show you that in a second. Not sure if you can see this properly, but this is the same plastic trim piece from earlier, and this is the backlighting. I will now change its color. Pink, red, orange, I guess, yellow, lighter yellow, green, greener green, bluer green, turquoise, proper blue, electric blue, and purple again. You know you've bought a premium vehicle when the plastic at the bottom of this cubbyhole here is textured. And so is the cubby underneath the armrest. The interior is definitely the high point of this car. It's a really pleasant place to be and sit. And surprisingly, rear passengers will feel, well, they won't be able to stretch out, but they won't feel like having amputated legs would have been a better idea either. See? Plenty of space. Other cool features on this car include a smattering of Mini logos everywhere, like here inside the indicator which is surprisingly not an LED, but a conventional bulb. Another Mini logo here. One thing I really liked about this Mini plug-in hybrid is just how smoothly its petrol engine kicks in. You really can't feel it. Although now it's really quiet and you can, but you usually can't. Just listen to this. It's instant. No judder, no nothing. It's great. Hopefully it's a sign of things to come in the hybrid world, because many other cars which use electrification and often stop their engines are very jerky when they start it back up again. This car has such a nice interior that it even makes sitting in traffic more bearable. It's just a nice place to sit and wait.